All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Matt. Matt, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Glad to be
but
back.
yeah, yeah, man. Let's dive right in. So, can you just give some context? Who you are and how you ended up in the home services space, like remote cleaning and everything.
Yeah. So obviously, my name is Matt.
Mhm.
I didn't start out being a CEO for a cleaning company. Kind of like what I used to do in the past was, I tried going to college, went there for one semester. It just wasn't for me, so I dropped out. Ended up becoming a server for a Mexican restaurant. Did that for probably about a year or so, and then I
Mhm.
got to, the roofing salesman aspect. Did that for a couple of months. And then, I actually met Jaden in Cincinnati because I was buying a monitor off him.
Yeah.
I actually still have that monitor, surprisingly. And I always, had your contact saved on Snapchat. One day I stumbled upon your little posts and everything involving, you killing it within your company. I'm
Mhm.
sliding up one day, and then you kind of gave me a brief description of everything. And that's where, I got into this. At first, obviously, as anyone would be, a little precautious in diving into, someone, selling a course or anything. But, I was like, all right, man, I'll trust this guy. Let's see what it is. So on, a couple months go by, I'm getting my company rolling. And then next thing you know, I was like, bam, I got my own cleaning company in a whole different state,
Mhm.
run everything virtual. And then ever since, yeah, it's been killing it. As of right now, ever since we started, I believe I started in September of 2024, uh,
Mhm.
with now it being, April. Um, as of now, we have around, 100 clients reoccurring per month, which is insane to think
That
about.
is wild.
So,
Mhm.
ever since then, man, I've just been really working hard with the company. I've always wanted to be CEO, and, things have been taking off.
Yeah, bro. I know you've been in the trenches. Like from the beginning, you've been grinding out. You kind of bet on yourself pretty early. Like you were one of the first ones to really, bet on yourself, go all in with it. But really, what's been the main key? Once you've been in here to you achieving success, really scaling it up, what do you feel like has been that one key thing or multiple key things that you actually doing well and being able to still run it today?
Yeah. The one thing is you always got to keep working.
Hmm.
That one sliver of just laziness that comes in, it's going to set you back a little bit because obviously I've had times where I was, pretty lazy in this company when I got, my virtual assistant running things and it kind of allowed me to step back a little bit. But, when you are a little lazy, that's when you know you're not going to be performing at your best.
Hmm.
So I would just say, always that determination, always working, finding a solution, or even, just really try and maximize the company. There's always something you can do, either if it's within, your social media content, your ad spend, literally everything. So the main thing I would just say is always, keep working, and even just source out to either, other companies or other owners and try and see if, you can pick their brains a little bit, see what you could do to bring over to your company.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about stuff you're doing right now. You mentioned today, like opening another ad account, you're opening other stuff. So you're always kind of looking for more stuff to do. Like you're never just doing nothing. And I think that's a really good takeaway. Looking on here, you first joined the community like August, I think, but you were running September, right? So you joined in
Yeah.
August?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that was like 6-ish months ago. That's actually only six-ish months ago, right? So what was your life like, then compared to now, when you were first joining and everything?
Yeah. So obviously starting out, it was a little tricky because, any company needs you need to put money into it. You need to
Hmm.
get that cash flow going. So those first couple of months it was a little hard for me just because I had to spend more than what I was actually receiving.
Yeah.
So, first couple I would actually just say the first month was slow. The second month is really where it started picking up because I was
Mhm.
probably doing investing 30 hours of my time within the company each week, probably 30, 40 hours. But at that time, I'm just, always on my computer, working on the company probably till about 2 a.m. at night. And then, compared to now, it's more so like, dude, I probably work on this company 2 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like
huge.
almost fully automated.
Mhm.
always improving. So it's crazy to kind of see where, where we started and where we're at now.
Yeah, bro. 100%. It's a weird spot. Most people, I wouldn't say most, a lot of people do stick with it, but in the beginning when you're working and you're not getting a return, um, it's shitty. Like it does suck. So just sticking that out and getting through that will help a lot. What about like your personal life? Like other than the business, when you first started, like how has that changed? Has anything really been different or is it still kind of the same for you? Like, um, yeah.
Honestly, I would say just the freedom aspect.
Mm,
It's because I mean, typically, before I had this whole company, obviously, I'd have to call off work, spend all this money for vacation and everything. And then now it's like I can go to vacation and I'm still working. I'm getting my whole
hmm
vacation paid for basically just because, the company's still working. Obviously, with my virtual assistant, that comes in a big play. So I mean, I would just say the freedom aspect, and I mean, I've just been a lot happier, I would say, especially from when I started till now. Uh,
hmm
so yeah, I mean, just overall, just happier and just freedom. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, bro. We were both just in Florida at like the exact same time. So
Yeah.
that's kind of proof of concept. But yeah, man, how have you gone about, getting more customers, automating the business? How have you gone about really scaling it up?
Yeah. So, I mean, main source of lead generation for me has been, Google LSA, Google My Business. As we really try and push for Google reviews, which is really going to help
Mm-hmm.
us, getting those organic leads and just ranking organically. So I would say that's probably been the number one lead source. The second one has been, a bunch of other websites such as, Thumbtack, Yelp, Nextdoor, or even Facebook. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we have all four of these sites within our daily routine for myself and my VA, just posting it every day. And we get a ton of clients from those weekly. And those are more so, the cheaper side of ad spend. So those, that'll help immensely. And then, I mean, other than that, it's just referrals. Always leaving
Yeah.
that really good look for customers to whereas if, they're getting their neighbors involved, family, friends, or anything. So, and we even also have it's like a referral discount. So it
Mm-hmm.
really does push, clients to get their others people they know involved in this because they'll essentially get a cheaper clean. Um, so yeah, I mean, just honestly, just making the company just that 5-star company. That's really just what's been helping us get more clients.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it is, bro. As long as if you have a good service, um, they'll talk about it. People will send others, and especially you're doing a bonus. How much are you giving the customers for that?
Yeah. So what we do is if they refer a client to us and they end up booking with us, we'll essentially give $20 off for both of their next cleans.
Okay. Yeah, so it's really not much out of your pocket and yeah,
Yeah.
got you, bro. Sounds good. And then just let them know, like last month, how much revenue did you do?
Yeah. So last month, here, I'll actually be exact with you. I'll pull this up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So last month of March. Yeah. So last month we closed at 19,498.
And sick, man.
Yeah. And then I mean this month already with it just being yeah, just the second week of April, not even the second full week. We're already at
hmm
18,700.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Perfect, man. And yeah, I mean, as far as scaling past that, scaling further, what's next for you? Do you think there's like more stuff you should add, or is it just continuing with your current processes? What do you really think is your next step to getting, I don't know, to your next goal?
yeah. I mean, with this type of company, you can always
hmm
there's like not a limit. So, I mean, currently what we're doing right now is I'm hiring more cleaners just because of the amount of clients we're getting, which that's actually a really good problem to have. If you're having too many clients reach out to you and you don't have enough cleaners, that's where, I don't know, it really feels good to me because like
Yeah.
that's the best problem to have in this industry. So right now, I mean, we're hiring a bunch of cleaners right now just to fulfill the work and really, max that cap revenue for our company per month. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, right now that's been the main goal. Really making sure, our cleaning checklists are really good to really thoroughly, make the customer satisfied as far as like
hmm
what they want, tailored needs and tailored prices to really, have them choose us. and that's really going to help us, get those Google reviews and really set us apart from other companies.
Right, bro. I mean, one thing I always say is that it's pretty boring. Like it is a boring business model at the end of the day. So it's kind of just, in my experience, doing the same exact stuff. Like to scale, you kind of do the same boring thing over a long period of time, but the recurring is where you can really, grow. So um, with having that many cleans, with doing 20,000 a month, I know you're doing sometimes like 10 per day. How do you make sure the delivery is good and they're not like screwing everything up? How do you make sure it doesn't get too much, you know?
Yeah. As far as like, too many bookings in one day, how do I kind of go about that? Or
How do you go about ensuring that the cleaners do a good job, and that the cleans end up good? You know, you're not stressed about that.
Yeah, so obviously on that initial phone call I have with the clients, we
Mhm.
have the cleaning checklist. I said it earlier. It's the same cleaning checklist that all of our cleaners have as well. So everybody's on the same page. And what I'll do is I'll try and include as many booking notes as possible that I've gotten on that initial phone call so the cleaner does understand everything. And, first thing in the morning, I will text all of our cleaners, or not text,
Mhm.
but just make sure that they are heading to those cleans. Also on Booking Qual, it provides you that.
Yeah.
But always making sure they're arriving. And then once the clean is finished, always reaching out to our cleaners along with the homeowner just to see if there was any issues, any problems, or if everything went smoothly. And then from there, I mean, just doing those little things that really just, takes the stress off my shoulders, and just makes everything run a lot smoothly.
100%, bro. And like, how have you gone about doing that, building your team? What's the structure of your team look like? How do you incentivize them, get them bought in to work with you, stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the hiring process goes, I mean, we'll use, Facebook or Indeed. We do have a couple of, I want to say, interview process where, we'll have a
Hmm.
couple of phone calls with them, really see what their experiences was or if they really, fit the role we're looking for. And then from there, I mean, the attitude is going to be the best thing. If they're not that upbeat energy, I don't want them.
Right.
Because
Hmm.
those are the type of cleaners that are really going to get you, those really, it's really going to help it's going to make the clients feel a lot better.
Hmm.
That's what's really going to help you stand out as a company. Um, but yeah, I mean, typically, as far as what we try and do for when we do hire, is I like to, so within my city, I'll try and find cleaners kind of spread out all around it. And the
Hmm.
reason I do this is because I want to make sure, everyone's spread out and not everyone's in like, say the southern part of the city where it's going to be hard to reach those northern parts. So I really try and spread out all my cleaners to where we can really maximize the area we're reaching. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, that's mainly it.
I mean, that's really important for you too, because I don't think we've even mentioned it. But you're not even near your business. Like yeah, where are you at? Where's your business located?
Yeah, so I actually live in Ohio, but my business is up in Michigan.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of people are really confused on that aspect. They're like, really, so are you like always going up to Michigan? Like, what's that all about? And I'm like, no, I run everything virtual. We just run all of our ad campaigns and everything. We just pick up the phone calls and then, we just assign it to the corresponding cleaner in that area. The
Hmm.
way I kind of tell people is we are technically like a referral agency.
Yeah.
We're just doing a lot of the middleman aspects. We're not nothing's hands on, and I mean it's just taking phone calls at the end of the day.
Yeah, bro, I love it, man. You've been scaling pretty aggressively, and you just like not taking no for an answer, which I love to see.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I guess how's it feel, bro? Like, how's it feel to be at 20K per month, and having like a clear path to six figures within, I mean, really a few years.
yeah. I mean this month actually, by the end of the month I'll hit six figures in revenue ever since I started. So that's really crazy to think about for me at least.
Yeah.
And then I mean as far as it feels, I mean since we're at 20K in revenue, it is a good feeling, but it's not where I want to be. Um,
Hmm.
Essentially, my main goal by the end of the year is to have, roughly around, 30,000 in reoccurring revenue monthly. That's where I'll really feel, that satisfaction. And at that point, that's where I actually want to open up another one in Ohio.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so I mean, it's just always growing. There's always something to do.
I think that's the reason why you were able to grow so fast is because you feel like that. Um, that like it's never enough. I feel the same way. It's really never enough. And I feel like once you hit the 30K per month, you'll probably have a new goal in mind. So
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have to go in too much detail of like your previous work with roofing and everything, but I feel like that sales skill set and just doing that, kind of transferred into selling your own services. How was that transition for you from, like roofing full time to actually having your own business? How was transitioning from that to that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, doing roofing, it was one of those things where, I was either working 5 to 7 days a week. If
Mm,
there's a storm rolling by, I'm always busy. It was a smaller roofing company, so that's where it didn't really help my case as far as, you can be the best salesman in the world, but if customers are looking at your company's Google reviews and see, it's very low compared to other ones, that's where it
hmm
would affect my case. Um, but I mean, as far as like transitioning, it really did help me just because, I mean, talking to customers all the time, door knocking and everything, it really, it's kind of just the same thing here. But it's just instead of in person, it's over the phone. You can still do door knocking. I highly recommend it if you want to do that organic route. But I mean, overall, it's really just helped. It's been a smooth transition. And then obviously, you and Steve have actually helped me a lot with the role plays, sales calls, and everything. Because I remember those first 2 months or so, we were
hmm
doing all those role play calls, and then ever since, like I was always taking notes, using it for future calls for clients, and that just made everything book a lot easier.
Oh, 100%, bro. And the only real way to do it is to get reps. So at this point, I mean, it's only been 6 months. I say at this point like it's been forever, but 6 months in, like you've done enough sales calls, plus you door knocked, which is like probably the hardest leads you can talk to. So you've done all that customer service. I mean, even like God forbid it's not going to happen, but God forbid you lost your business, you lost everything. Just with your skill set alone, like you could probably get a sales job and kill it. With that
Yeah.
alone, like you're going to be good forever, which is pretty cool. So yeah, man. I mean, what does 2025 look like for you? What are your goals? Where do you want to get to, and how are you gonna kind of do that?
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, like I said earlier, one of my main goals is to have roughly around 30,000 in recurring revenue per month.
Hmm
Um, that's going to be one of them. Another one is having around 100 five-star Google reviews, which, I mean, right now we're already at 52 five stars.
Nice.
So almost halfway there. And then the third one is just being, getting this business to be, I wouldn't say 100%, but I would say majority just being fully, operated to where I don't have to come into place.
hmm
The way I'm going to do these things is, the fully optimization one or, fully operated is going to be, my virtual assistant I have in place, which he's
hmm
already doing a bunch of work for me. I plan on hiring probably, two more by the end of the year to really, focus on every portion of this company. The third one for the reoccurring clients is, always trying to leave that good impression the first time we were there.
Right.
Especially for those one-time clients, getting them on that reoccurring schedule. And one thing is, always tracking any clients that give us a call because this is going to be huge for if we're going to do, like an email blast or like an SMS blast where
hmm
we send them that discount in the, for, a holiday season. Hey, get $20 off for, this holiday season when you spend over $150. So just little things like that is really going to help with getting more clients on board, and then
hmm
just expanding on social media, trying to run more ads if possible, and then always looking for those organic ways. So, I mean, yeah, just constantly doing leads, well, just ads, improving the team, get more cleaners, and I think we'll hit every goal as possible.
Yeah, once you have the infrastructure, it's pretty much just getting more traffic, but it's like a flywheel because when you first start, you don't really have the infrastructure or the traffic. That's the part. But then once you get into it, like you're 6 months in, you have those customers consistently coming in, referring, you're sending the SMS blast. So it just kind of blows up, and
Yeah,
then you have the infrastructure, you have a VA, you have the automation, the blast. So you have all these things where it'll be very easy to grow it and then hopefully not have to work as much or at all.
yeah,
Um, So yeah, you're in a good spot, bro. But like last thing for the audience, I don't want to hold up too much of your time either. If there's one thing that you could tell yourself from a year ago that would save you a lot of time, and getting to where you want to be, what would that be?
Um, Never stop. I mean, it's the simplest thing. Everyone's gonna say it, but that's the biggest thing because there's gonna be times where, you have a week where it's super slow. You might not have any cleans.
Mm-hmm.
That week, if you're not, if you're just not working or you're just stopped, then you're not gonna improve for that next week or next month. That's just one of those things where no matter what, how busy it is or how slow it is, never stop. Because
Mm-hmm.
you never know if that one week where it is super slow, you're like, hey, I want to take a break. Guess what? Maybe that next phone call could be a huge commercial property. And who knows, maybe it could have been a reoccurring client for a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where, you could be losing out on, tens of thousands of dollars per year because of that. So I mean, that's the biggest thing I would say is just never stop.
That's great, bro. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me here today, Matt.
Yeah, of course. Maybe we'll catch back up in 3 more months and then, see how that's all going.
100%, bro. Have a good one.
You too, man.